Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to Take Stock Live. I hope you're doing well and happy. It is Friday, May 21st. It has just gone noon here on Take Stock Live. My name is Sam Evans, and this show is powered to you by StockAbility.com. Welcome to the show, regular viewers. And if you're a new viewer as well, it's great to have you here. Like I said, it's just gone 12 noon here, Friday, May 21st. Couple of new things going on here. Firstly, if you are a regular viewer of this show, you'll be thinking, why today are you on the show and doing it on a Friday? Yes, normally Take Stock Live is a Thursday show. And we are always going to be on Thursday, streaming on Facebook Live at noon. But we've had to have a little bit of a schedule change. And today, and one day only until further notice, this show is going to be here at 12 noon today on a Friday. We are live. Next week, we will be back at Thursday, our regular time. We are broadcasting live here on Facebook Live on the StockAbility channel. But for the first time as well, we are also streaming live on YouTube as well. If you're joining us through YouTube, great to have you here. Welcome. This show is live, simultaneously cast on both Facebook Live and YouTube. If you're joining us, the StockAbility channels are where you can find us. We love live broadcasts. Why? Because we get you guys to be able to interact with us as well. If you are new to the channel as well, feel free to type in the chat on the YouTube channel as well, as you can see on the StockAbility channel. Also, you regulars who've been used to using this through Facebook Live, nothing changes. Go ahead and type in the box as well and say hi already. I can see Joseph Solanas. What's up, Joseph? How you doing? Bob Pellegrin as well. Seeing you joining us through Facebook Live and also obviously, like I say, going out on YouTube as well. I'm really excited about today's show. Why is that? Because we're doing a beginner's guide to Forex. Okay, and this beginner's guide to Forex is not going to be done by just me, but by our guest today who's going to be joining us, who is a brand new coach with StockAbility.com as well. And super excited to have him coming on the show. He's a Forex expert and really kind of want to push him and give him a great, welcome to StockAbility as well. And everybody's looking forward to meeting him. So he's going to be joining us soon. Somebody I had the pleasure of mentoring a little bit over the years and who has literally just made this, made his own mark in this world as well. Kevin, great to see you joining us from YouTube. Man, I got a lot going on. I'm going to make no apologies today. I've got simultaneous broadcasts going through Facebook Live. I got it on YouTube. I got people all over the place. Kevin Garber just did our very first. Kevin, you are our very first live comment on our YouTube broadcast. And also Bob Pellegrin, who's a top fan of the show via Facebook. It's the same show. It's just different mediums, my friends. We absolutely love this. I'm juggling as best as I can. I'm going to keep this all going and obviously keep everybody's comments on here as well. I'm also going to do my best to type in. If you have questions as the day goes on, please type those questions in. Let us know what they are. Anything you want to talk about on here, we are here to help as well. Wow, we want to make sure that before we get our special guest on the show as well, we don't waste any time on this show as well. So let's go and look at today. Let's go look at the markets. Let's see where we are at. I want to look at the markets. I want to give us a kind of the news and see where we're at. It's a mixed day today. Let's put it this way. Looking over at the charts right now, going to go ahead and take a look over here. So let me just go ahead and get the charts pulled up for us so we can see. Here we go. Here's our first chart of the day. It's the good old S&P futures. Now, if you've never looked at this before, we like to do a little rundown of the market and see where we're at. S&P 500, this is where it all starts. Remember those highs put in right up here at 42.32. What was it? A couple of weeks ago now. May 7th here. Today, we are facing some tough resistance. Key area that we're at right now, I'd say, on the current market price, around 41.75, topped out right around that area, which is also offering a massive resistance zone at the moment. A lot of people kind of getting a little bit bearish on the markets right now. Why? Because we had this push lower, then a lower high, lower low. And are we double bottoming or are we setting up for the next stage? I have to say, guys, if you are asking me about this and wondering where is this going, what is it doing, I still got to go with the trend. I really need to see the market break through this current area right here. I want to see it get above 41.75. to see a continuation in the price. I'd like to see that continuation in the price. But again, I don't really want to be a buyer up here. I don't want to be aggressive as a buyer. I want to make sure if we are going to do anything up here at this particular point as well, I want to clear right through this major area right now before doing anything. At the moment, these area here, if we just zoom out a little bit and see, let's just go over here and auto zoom this so you can see it nice and clearly. There you go. Great picture. The upward trend is still alive in the market without doubt. There is no way that upward trend, to me, just looks like another pullback, a double bottom maybe before a continuation on here. But that S&P sitting right in the middle. I tell you right now, if you've not done anything for the week, my advice to you is don't do anything for the rest of the week. You haven't got long. Let's just wait until next week and see how things goes. I'm done for the day with my trading, so I can just say that. But, you know, at the end of the day, guys, you know, where this market is right now, not a comfortable area where I want to be taking any real action. Let's go look at the next one on here. A very similar thing. Uptrend still hugely in play, as we can see on the down. And, you know, we said this time and time again on the show. If we just zoom in a little bit here so we can see it. This sell-off we saw on the Dow Jones just a couple of days ago didn't really get me too spooked, I got to say. If we move over here and see, just a little bit of a sell-off, a retracement. I say it still looks like we're in a double bottom territory, but we do need to take out this resistance area here. If we take that out, I wouldn't be surprised to see this market going a little bit higher. That's just the way I look at it. That's just the way I'm seeing it on here, guys. Not really in major causes for concern as we speak right now as well. So, you know, what I just say to you on this as well is just like same as normal. S&P, Dow, in the middle point, don't really care to do too much right now. We're just trading about 34,000. 34,000 is a number we've got to hold on here. I think there is more upside on the cards, but again, I have been proven wrong in the past. Just because I say it doesn't mean it's going to happen. Let's go take a look at the Nasdaq and see how the mighty Nasdaq is doing. Nasdaq again still seems to be the tech weakness, although we had a huge move to the upside. Huge move to the upside after that sell-off a couple of days ago in our live guided trade sessions. And Bob Pellegrin himself, if I remember rightly, who's in on the audience right now looking at this live, was buying down at this particular price in that guided trade session with us at 13,000. Bob, I hope you got a little bit more of the upside off of those Nasdaq futures that you were buying. A couple of the other guys are buying their QQQ puts from this area as well. I got to say, this makes me more comfortable. When I actually see this, I got to say, tech has been suffering on here. But I would say this, if I was looking for a weaker market, this is the one. And again, I would say that what I'm seeing is a little bit of lining up in the markets right now. This 13,600 is your line in the sand as well. What's up, Sam Rising? Howdy to you back. Joining us on YouTube as well. What I would say to you on this right now is it's a similar territory. We're at a key equilibrium point in the NQ, in the ES, and also in the Dow Jones as well. All pretty much telling me the same thing. Am I concerned that the tech's lagging a little bit? No. Because if the major indexes, the value stocks push higher, this is going to get dragged up at the same time as well. So it's all good. Happy belated birthday to you, Louise Fox. I hope you had a great day. I hope Max took care of you. Great to see you looking at the show. Another regular every week on here. Love seeing you on the show as well. And thank you for joining us today on Friday. It was a little bit of a head mess having a different day on here as well. All right, let's look at the prince, as we call it, the little brother, the runt of the litter, the Russell. Let's go see where we're at right now. Oh my gosh, look where we are. Regular viewers of the show, you will know time and time again we have looked at this key area right here on the Russell at 2220, and 2220 is the same area still at equilibrium. We could not be more in the middle. Guys, I'm undecided. I believe if I was a betting man, people say, well, you trade, surely you're a betting man. No, when I trade, I look at it as speculation. Is a very, very different thing. Okay, speculation is how I look at it, and I like to stack odds in my favor. I got to say right now, as a speculator who wants to stack his odds in his favor, I don't like where any of these markets are. We have a long-term uptrend still in place across the Dow, across the S&P, and a bit of weakness in the Nasdaq, in the tech sector, and a basically kind of nonchalant equilibrium going in the Russell. I have to take the value stocks. You know, I'm a value stock guy right now. I think tech and growth stocks are overdone. I think the opportunities for those people who desperately want to be in the market are in value stocks right now. Hence, looking at your Dow, looking at your S&P, and going down that particular angle. Okay, that's the better one for me. But right now, I'm still looking for those pullbacks. We had the pullback on tech earlier this week. Great buying opportunity for those of you who took it. Manage that position, lock in a little bit of profits. That's all I would say on this. Manage that as well. And again, everything's lining up to equilibrium right now. So again, just going back, I think the story you can really see is told very well by looking at that S&P. Right here, right now, the buying opportunities were lower. They were across this particular point. This is a great place to take a little bit of profit if you're a long-term bull on the market, hoping to get that a little bit of extra upside on there. If not, great time to protect your position on this. We have got a test next week. It's going to be interesting. I tell you what, it wouldn't surprise me to see a lot of this. Chip, chop over the next couple of days as well. But we will see how it goes. We will see how it goes. That's probably the major markets on. Let's just do a quick scan and see across the overall charts. If you're seeing a kind of nonchalant behavior in the overall markets, you're probably going to see it in a lot of the stocks as well. Let's say Microsoft today down $1.14. You can see eBay up 120. Let's go look at Apple, $1.50 down on the day. Roku 366. You know, again, Tesla only $3.30 for the day. It seems like this market is pretty much done. I think that at the end of the day, Zoom, as you know, I'm the perpetual bear on Zoom. You know, Zoom, I'm not using you at the moment, but the perpetual bear down $7 on the day, but not really anything major that I'm seeing right now. Guys, if you're not already in any positions right now, pack up for the day. Monday's another day. There's other things we can do, but we are going to be talking about commodities today. We are going to be talking about commodities as well as Forex. Our special guest on the show today is not only a Forex specialist, but a commodity specialist too. I am excited. I am just psyched and excited to have him on the show and talking about all of that good stuff with us as well. Let's also take a look and see what's been dominating today's news headlines. This is important for us as well. This is already important for us as well. Okay, what do we have today on today's date? Like I said, May 21st. Can you believe we're almost through May already on here? What was the big news? I mean, I think the market was happy to see this upside today after 3-day losing streak, but that doesn't seem to be really anything in these markets. Again, a great buying opportunity. I'm living by that as well. Bitcoin back to 40,000. Bitcoin. Really exciting. And we're going to talk about this in the show probably next week as well. CME have Bitcoin futures and have had those for a while. Very expensive contracts. If you're looking for another alternative way to invest in Bitcoin and partake in that market, because Bitcoin's been in all the news lately, okay? Hovering at 40,000, breaking down to as low as 30 a couple of days ago, back up to 40. Micro Bitcoin futures are now available as a product to trade on Chicago Mercantile Exchange. You might be thinking, man, I don't know anything about futures. Tell me more about that, Sam. We are having a special webinar in the next couple of weeks all about that, my friends. Hold tight. You're not missing out. I think there's plenty of room for currency trading and cryptocurrency trading. But I'm excited about seeing these new Bitcoin futures. Right now, I think, you know, Bitcoin, wouldn't be surprised to see it hovering, play out the week where it is right now. A lot of people got spooked. A lot of people calling the top on crypto. I'm just not so sure. Yeah, I got to remain bullish. I'm a trend follower at this stage, and I know my guest is as well. US proposes global minimum corporate tax rate for a 15%. It's going to be interesting to see how the market digests that news. Secretary of Treasury Janet Yellen was speaking about a news brief about that as well. And Apple CEO Tim Cook set to testify in the Epic Games case later today as well. And Tesla raises prices for the 5th time in the last few months as well. Do you know what I got to say? Is there reckoning for Tesla coming? Are we going to see this continued strength in Tesla? I don't know. I'm super excited if you're a car fan and a truck fan about the Ford F-150 Lightning. Man, that thing can power your house. It's a giant battery. Not only is it electric F-150, but also if you lose power, it can power your house. I'm super excited about that. Super excited about that as well. And what's the old saying on here? Just looking at Joseph, selling may go away. Yeah, you know what? I know how you feel. This is trader territory right now, guys. Right now, what we're seeing, these ups and downs in the market, that to me is just trader territory. Great for it. Am I really seeing anything? I tell you, I've been struggling on the swing side. I think, like I said, we had the best opportunity this Wednesday. Any of my guys in the room right now will know who's in my live GTS sessions. That was a great buying opportunity that we had in like live trading room on both the Dow, the S&P, and particularly the Nasdaq and the QQQs. I think it's done and dusted today. Sit on your hands, enjoy those profits, and go out have a good time as well. But the old adage is sell in May and go away. You know, sometimes you do see that weaker market over the course of the summer period. And I don't know, last year we didn't get that, you know, because of everything that was going on in the world. But I don't know, maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. At the moment, I just know there's not a whole lot I want to do. That's it. I am interested in looking at other markets. And being interested in looking at other markets gives me an opportunity to bring my special guest on the show. I don't want to hang around for too much longer. I want to get this guy on. I want to talk to him. I want him to say, joining me live from the hot, sunny, and wonderful Florida, we have Mr. Alex Perna in the house. How are you, Alexander? Oh, you're muted at the moment, so take that mute off, my friend, because I don't think you've got your man. So we need to hear you.
There it is.
There we are. Hey, I
Sam.
love that. It proves, number one, it was live, and it proves, number two, that when we do have a mistake, I'm not the one who makes it all the time. So thank you. How are you doing, Alexander? So Alexander Perna, my friends, I've worked with this guy for a very long time as well. Alexander, I'm a Samuel, so I like to be officially recognized as a Samuel. Is that what it is with you? Like to be officially recognized as Alexander?
Alex is fine.
Alex is fine. Have anyone ever called you Xandor or Lex, you know, because that's kind of cool.
No. I've been called a lot of things, but none of those.
Well, listen, it's great to have you on the show. You're in Florida right now, I believe. That's your hometown, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Born and raised.
Excellent. And you've been doing a ton of traveling over the years. Alex, you know, I know you're kind of there now. Have you found somebody, and just tell everybody a little bit of, before we get into this, background of Alex. You know, Alex is one of those consummate traveling traders. I love it. You know, he's been a trader for many, many years now, and you've enjoyed the flexibility that the markets have given you by actually traveling. You spent a lot of time in the Far East. I think the last time we spoke just before this, you were out in the wine country, weren't you? As well, out in Napa Valley and so on. Absolutely awesome. How's this lockdown been for you, my friend? I mean, has it been hard?
Yeah, it's been tough. I mean, on one side, it's nice to take a break, but that's kind of why I trade. I like to travel around. I like different cultures. I love the food.
Yeah,
I'm a big foodie, so I'll travel for food, and I'll go across the world for it.
What is your favorite? Where's the best food you've ever had? That, I mean, it's a tough question when people ask you that, but up there. I mean, or at least have a top three.
I'm a spice guy,
yeah.
So we would have to go to Asia, maybe Korea. The spice level is just insane there. Thailand, Indonesia has really good flavors. So
you're a brave man.
That area. Tropicals. I guess I just can't escape my nature.
There we go.
Hot and humid is where I go.
You are used to it. I don't know how you deal with it, but credit to you. Alex, let me say welcome as well. For anybody looking at the show right now, Alex, I've had the pleasure of working for a number of years. Just joined StockAbility as a new coach, so it's great to have you on the StockAbility team. And we've been saying we need a little bit of extra love in the world of Forex. At StockAbility, options are covered, the futures are covered, the stocks. The Forex needs some love, and I thought, what a great way to kill two birds with one stone today. Let's talk a little bit about, obviously, your journey, as well. And I'd love to know how long you've been and officially welcome, and I'm sure everybody's eager to learn from you as well, because planning to have you working with a lot of our new students too. But, you've been a real specialist in the Forex market too. So I'd like to also talk about, where your passion comes from. And the title of this show was like a beginner's guide to Forex. Now, we've only got about 40 minutes or so there's only so much we can do. But I'd love to talk to you about that, about where your passion for Forex comes and anybody looking at, why should they start in Forex as well? But we can do that in a second. Let's tell me a little bit about yourself there. How long have you been actually trading the Forex markets for now, Alex?
Trading live since 2010.
Right.
Probably got involved with the markets around 2008. Good thing I wasn't trading then.
Really? All right. So when you're dabbling around a little bit, probably there's always a couple of years I feel that a lot of people do where they kind of get into it and dabble before they start taking it seriously. Was it the same for you?
Right off the bat, I was pretty serious about it. I mean, when I was introduced to trading, it really ignited a fire in me. The passion was there from the beginning. It was really just, getting your head around it. I mean, this is, what do we say? It's simple, not easy. A lot of the stuff that we do on the charts, it's pretty straightforward. A couple lines here, a couple boxes there, maybe some text. But really trying to bring it all together, all the moving parts, especially with Forex, it can be a daunting task because we're not talking about a single company, but we're talking about countries and how they're dealing with one another. So the passion was there from the beginning. But, once you start anything, I think it's good to kind of get a grasp of it, see how it works, get comfortable, at least before you start risking real money.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of what it was. It was just trying to, I was right out of high school, basically.
So this is pretty much all you've ever known, right?
That's pretty much since 18.
That's incredible.
32 now.
Oh, wow. I mean, it's incredible because I thought I started young, but I mean, that's really all you've ever known. You've literally, and your maturity is beyond your years. I got to say, the feedback I've seen over the years with students that you've worked with, you seem to have a real passion of working with people. Is it an equal love, the teaching as well as the trading, or is one more than the other?
I would say it's an equal love. Yeah. I guess it definitely comes from different places, but as far as the teaching side as the teaching side goes, a lot of the passion just from that comes from seeing the change that trading has done to my life. The lives around me. I know it's possible, this change for the better.
Yeah.
And, just being in class, seeing people starting to get it, seeing the students actually put the setups and the strategies to work for themselves. That's a really big, let's say a dividend. I just love those little things from teaching, just breaking through walls. And not just for other students, but for me as well. I mean, the markets are so dynamic. It's nice to step out of the same mental frame that we have. And that happens a lot when we're teaching, because we're always trying to go different angles. How can I better, talk about a certain concept? And even just for me, it connects stuff. And then I start to think, how can this work? And how does this affect this part of the market? And so, the teaching is nice. It really gets your hands involved. You see the success of students, but also it brings about change in yourself. And so, one big thing that I've always been focused on is just, embracing change, really focusing on development and growth, both in a physical and a mental kind of state. So teaching really kind of grounds me, actually, and keeps me from getting too far off.
Well, you can get really caught up, can't you, in just in trading?
Yeah.
And I think the reason why, like, I'm a day trader. I am predominantly a day trader. I have been for many, many years, and I do all different aspects of it. But I love to interact with people, and I keep my trading days literally as short as I possibly can, Alex, because otherwise I think I just go mad just looking at charts. I mean, there's not a lot of room for creativity.
Not on the business side.
No,
not on the business side.
There isn't. So you have to have that, and I think getting that interaction with the students is really, really key as well. Let me just talk to you one more thing as well, because I think one of the big misconceptions a lot of people have, Take Stock Live, brought to you by StockAbility. We're all about reality, keeping things very grounded. I think there's this massive perception, or I pretty much go as far as saying I know, but there's this huge perception, Alex, that everyone who trades is, multi-millionaire, making obscene amounts of money, driving around in lavish cars and lifestyles. And sure, there are plenty of very successful traders, but I also say there's plenty of super wealthy doctors and lawyers and business owners out there. There's also not, right? There's all different levels of everything. I always find when people focus too much on the money side of it, okay, that's where it goes horribly wrong. I've always found the people who have the best success in the business are those who really have very clear goals. And for me, it was always just about choice, flexibility, freedom. If I can make good living out of trading and be happy, I'm a wealthy man, right? What's your take on that before we talk about the markets? I'd love to hear that, because I like to get into the nuts and bolts of what drives someone like yourself.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that again?
Yeah, I said, what drives you? What's the motivating thing for you as a trader?
That's right.
Say?
I got lost in another train of thought.
He's a deep dude, ladies and gentlemen. He's a deep thinker. You said so much in that silence. It's unbelievable. I'm going to take that as the greatest quote I've ever had on TakeStock Live. It was just the Perna point.
Well, it's what really got me was the clear goals, because I think that's really what we do miss a lot. Most traders do focus on the money, and from the beginning that's just wrong. I think clear goals and a process. I think what really drives traders, the successful traders, has nothing to do with the results. They're happy just doing what they're doing. It's the process. A specific process that was chosen, like you said, all these little words. That was a very good, concise a statement you had earlier, and so I'm trying to unpack it all. But it's clear goals, precise actions, a process that is designed to get us there. That's really what's at the forefront of I would say anyone who's an achiever. You talk about from sports to finance. It's not about if it's too much. There'd be too much in the moment thinking about, okay, I've got to catch this ball.
Right.
If you're thinking I've got to catch this ball,
you're probably going to drop the ball.
You're going to drop the ball.
Yeah.
That would be like an athlete, focused on the results. They're not focused on the results. They're just in the moment
of the process,
exercising a process that is purely muscle memory for them. So in a trading aspect, I think, most traders go wrong because they focus on the results and just looking at anyone who achieves. It's not, it is about the results, you know, don't get me wrong. We're here for a specific reason, but focusing on that is really going to misdirect you, and you just end up fumbling.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And, you know, I've been so lucky since we started this show to have such a caliber of great guests on here. And I always ask, and it's what always makes me happy is I hear the same message said a slightly different way from everybody. You know, it's about the process. It's like we all go to it's a horrible thing, you know, it's like a surgeon, you know, they're performing a life-changing surgery. I doubt in that moment they're thinking about how much money they're getting paid for doing that job. They're thinking about doing the job right, and the rest comes with it. And right,
they're not thinking about the money, nor are they thinking about what can go wrong. And what if all this? What if this happens? What if this happens? They have a process. It's already figured out.
Yeah.
They just have to go through what they're doing, and if they start that surgery thinking, "Oh, this is going to go wrong," you know, this patient, I'm just going to have to leave them on the table.
Yeah.
You know,
you know how it's going to go.
Really
yeah.
Afraid.
Yeah. And I will say this, and one final comment on this, because again, something for me, and I've had it this week. You know, I've had some good trades this week, and those trades have been mostly on the upside, you know, and it's so funny because, you know, I've ended up buying high and selling high. I exclusively trade the stock indexes pretty much. You know, Dow Jones is one of my specialities. Actually, you can look at our YouTube channel, anyone who's looking at it right now, and see a video I put together just yesterday dissecting some of my results over the last 4 days. So happy to have another update today as well. So it turned out to be a good week, but it's incredible how many of my own trades, they don't even feel right sometimes. You know, a lot of them, the best trades, they don't even feel right when I enter them, but I take the signal and I'm like, I've got the evidence to support making this decision. I have the evidence to support this strategy, the evidence to support this system and process. Yet still, it feels so wrong sometimes. But yeah, ironically, so many times it feels wrong, and it's the best trade I took that week. Have you had an experience like that? Do you go through that at all?
Actually, quite often. That's actually one thing that I look for.
If it feels weird, if it feels wrong, I'm going to do it.
Well, it's reflecting on my own emotions.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I look for, because we're kind of channeling the novice trader. I mean, everyone gets nervous when
we're all novices, really.
Prices is crashing down to your area.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's a pattern or a support zone or what have you. And there's only a select few who are able to act in that moment of uncertainty. Whether they're right or wrong at the end, you know, that's just how the market works. I mean, even the best athlete will drop the ball at times, but really actually feeling that motivates me to take the trade even more. You know, if I feel like this, everyone else has to feel like this too, right? And so there must be a really small group actually looking to take this. And you know, I'm always thinking of institutions, novices, that kind of idea. I'm very big into sentiment, and sentiment. Just kind of measuring the how traders act in a specific market. So it's not technical, it's not fundamental, it's purely how are these traders acting.
Yes.
A lot of the times you'll just see the majority of the market is gonna do the easy thing.
Right.
You know, they're gonna go with the easy trade where the emotions feel great. And feel good just typically doesn't make money in the market. It's uncomfortable. You're going against the crowd.
Yep.
So I actually look for that.
Yeah, you know, I can understand.
If I really start feeling uncomfortable about something, it just reinforces the technical analysis that I have.
No, I love it. I love it. There's definitely a stoicism to you, Alex. I can, you know, of just, and that calmness. I would say myself, you know, I can be, but you know, I'm quite a live wire on things. You know, I battle every day, and I'm very candid on everything I do. I think that, you know, I'm actually better as a day trader than I am as a long-term trader, because I want to look at my long-term trades, whereas I can get in and I'm patient about, you know, letting things play out on the intraday side of things. But I'm actually a better day trader than I am a swing trader, believe it or not. I have the discipline to do what I know I need to do in short-term bursts, but in long-term I struggle with that sometimes, and I've wrestled with it. So I have to be very hands-off or very just hands-on, but it's each of their own. And I never say there's no perfect trader out there. There's just a perfect mindset, and that's difficult to achieve.
Well, this stoicism was hard earned because I can't day trade. I'm very emotional.
Yeah.
And so I've learned to be better as a trader.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm very technical in my approach, because the technicals just allow me to categorize my scenarios and act consistently as the market moves.
Nice.
So
I love it. It's excited. Look, I'm excited for the opportunity that we've now got. I mean, let's talk about, firstly, I want to talk about two more things, and we're going to do your call, my put as well. But I'm in the interest of time. I want to get on this. I want to talk about Forex. That's what you're known for. And, I started out years ago in that as well. And, for anybody and you're doing that, let's just talk about this. Actually, next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, you're actually doing a webinar for about an hour or so on Forex, why you like it, what you look for, how you use it. So let's not get into that. We'll let you talk all about what that is. But from a real beginner's thing, in a summary, let's talk about, a beginner. Why would somebody want to learn about Forex? And if you're new to this, what is Forex? Foreign exchange, currency trading. Instead of buying and selling stocks, we're buying and selling currency. Dollar, pound, euro, yen. Why do you feel that if people aren't trading Forex, they're missing out? Like, what's the biggest attraction why you think people really need Forex in their life and Forex trading and investing, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it would be you're missing out on the longer term, especially if you're involved in managing your own retirements, things of that nature. I think we're leaving Forex out of the equation. What you're really missing out on is a true diversification. So I trade stocks in my retirement, and so let's say I invest with stocks and options, and I trade currency and commodities. And if you work hard to have a diversified portfolio, you have stocks, you have your bonds, you have your precious metals, you have commodities, whatever, but if you go and you sell those stocks, what do you get? You get cash, let's say dollars. Well, you sell some of those bonds to pay for your retirement. What do you get? Dollars. You sell some of those commodities in your portfolio for your retirement. What do you get? Dollars. Mm-hmm. Right. So we're all highly concentrated in our own base currency just being whatever your bank accounts are funded in.
Yeah, right.
Like I have US dollars in my bank accounts. So you're cashing out, you're getting paid dollars. What if those dollars are depreciating? Or what if the euros or yens are depreciating? So we all work so hard, talk about diversification, this, diversification, that, and no one talks about what we end in. Yeah. And it's the cash. And so for me, in a big picture, I think Forex can just add a true level of diversification on your trading side, on your wealth management side. But I think more than anything, the biggest impact would be on the retirement side, because that takes long periods of time to gather enough wealth that we would be able to stop working and do what we love. Well, if you're sitting on this big pile of cash that just is getting worth less and less and less, all that hard work can go out the window.
Yeah. You put 30, 40 years in a couple of years, it's devalued. Yeah.
It reduces. Yeah. I mean, or at least you can't have your vacations outside the US.
Right. Yeah. Which at the moment is a struggle, but it's great if you live in a COVID environment for the next 40 years, but let's hope we're not in that. That's great.
So I would say that's the big thing.
Great diversification. And for anyone listening, you can do Forex through retirement accounts as well, can't you? There's ways to do it as well, which is awesome. So it does have that income and wealth side of things. But what I'd also say to this, it can be daunting. It's incredible. Like being from London, Forex, London is the Forex capital of the world, or at least it predominantly has been for years. A lot of people in the UK and Europe are introduced to Forex first because there's certain rules around trading stocks that they have. Whereas here in the US, we've got a lot more flexibility. We've got a wonderful stock market, long, short, it's great. So it's amazing. Here, I don't think it's been pushed so much. I think my mission is to really get it out there a lot more as well, because it does offer a ton of flexibility for people as well. What I also love, which I'd love you to comment on as well, is you don't need a whole lot of money to start. I mean, it's a very, no, and also it's relatively safe. I would say safer than stocks because of the 24-hour nature of it. So let's talk about two things, if you could help us out here, for anybody thinking, well, how much would somebody need to get going, and how is it safer than maybe trading and investing in stocks?
Okay, yeah, definitely. So before covering those, what I would say is just, like Europeans, they're used to the currency exchange rates. If you were born before, or if you were traveling, before the euro, if you were a German and you wanted to go shopping in Paris, you would have to exchange marks for francs.
True.
And in the US, we just don't have to do that. I don't have to exchange my sunshine dollars for, I don't know, peach dollars in Georgia, Florida, if I were to go see Ryan. Right. So just as an American, we're really pushed the equity side because, we got New York. Right. And if there was a capital for stocks, a world capital of stocks, it's New York. Just like, as you said, London would be more for commodities. And I would certainly agree. So it's really just kind of how we grow up. Yeah. The older Europeans remember what it was like to have liras, and marks and francs and all those. So I think that's just where we have some catching up to do, because we have to kind of go out and want to learn it. We have to, yes. I meet a lot of people who go, I didn't even know you could trade currency. Right. Like, because we just use it in our everyday lives. I just want this money to buy a soda. What else am I going to do with it?
They don't know what they don't know. That's a common thing, isn't it?
Right.
It really is.
It's actually, being involved so long, it still takes me off guard. and
somebody who, and being somebody, I can understand what you're saying, because being somebody who lived in Europe for a big chunk of his life, still the majority of my life. I've lived here for 5 years now, but the majority of my life, I get it, and already I've kind of forgotten a lot about that because I'm just so dollar centric now. And, I have other, but by proxy, I have other, exposures in Europe because of my assets back in the UK. But no, I get it. And it is intriguing. For anybody as well. And a great level of diversification. Do we need a lot of money, though, to start? Because obviously, today, one of the biggest problems you got with stocks, if anybody says, hey, I want to get into stocks, I'm like, well, a lot of the stock market's high. Right. And the problem with the market being high is your buying power has decreased. Yes, you can have fractional shares, but guess what comes with fractional shares? Yeah, go open a Robinhood account. Fractional shares. You know what comes with fractional shares? Fractional profits. Okay, so right, right. Keep it real for a second. You want to buy a tenth of a share, you're going to get a tenth of the profit when the thing moves $10. Right. What I love about Forex is you can start small and use leverage in a safe way. What's a typical kind of account size, you see most of your students begin with, Alex?
I would say a good account size to start with, just to get your toes in the water, $2,000 to $5,000.
Nice.
I think is a good amount that would allow you to position size properly, be able to just go through an actual trading process. You can't do that with futures.
No,
I guess you could
with the micros on the indexes, but you can't really take advantage of the commodities, can you, and things like that.
Right. So. And we're I guess on that note, we're kind of losing a little bit of an advantage to the commodities because they are coming out with these micros.
Yeah.
I think the market is going to continue to get smaller and smaller and smaller in the way that they try to divide these things. Mm-hmm. But as what stands right now, I would say the two best markets to at least learn to trade from would be stocks or currency. Yeah. And it's just because both of them allow you to reduce risk to such a small amount. I mean, with the stock market, we can get all the way down to a cent.
Yeah.
And with the currency market, if you're trading with some brokers that allow you to trade in units, rather than the lots that the lot sizes that they typically will put you in. I mean, you can really whittle that down. So I would say, the 2,000 to 5,000 would be good as a starting point. Once we have a process, we have the kind of back testing that will support it, and then we just slowly start to build that. And I'm a big proponent on trading live as soon as possible.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that 100%. By the way, not to speak over you, but if you stay on simulators for too long, again, you'll get used to making simulated profits and have simulated emotions, and their real emotions are going to impact you more, right?
Right. Oh yeah, it's going to change the game. Simulators are good for knowing your rules and knowing your tools.
Yeah.
Once
I love that. I love that. Knowing your rules and knowing your tools. I love that. That's brilliant.
Stick around.
Oh my God. We may have a show here. Woo!
But anyway, I mean, so really currency allows you to start trading live, to really get in there, and $2,000, you're not going to replace an income.
Right.
But you're gonna start to properly experience what a trader needs to experience in order to get to develop.
Which is reality.
Which is reality.
I need to experience the reality of making and losing. Yeah, and it's great. But when we can even start smaller. I mean, there's some brokers you can put like $50 in an account. Can't you? I mean,
brokers will allow you to do that.
I think what's nice about it though is also there's the leverage. Like if you had a cash account of $2,000 just to trade stocks, you're not going to be able to do a lot. When you look at the average stock price is like $120 now, of like probably the Dow. I don't know what the average stock price is in the Dow 30 right now. It's probably about $120, $150, maybe even more right now. Not a lot you can do, but with that leverage and that buying power, where you can get 20 to 1, 50 to 1, 100 to 1 in some cases, people go, oh, that's scary. Not if you position size and manage your risk, right? But you can get the bang for your buck, but it's all about the risk management. Is that a fair comment to make?
Right. Oh, definitely. I would say, to your point, the brokers will allow you to put $50 in an account. We just want to be careful with that because then you just over leverage. You put yourself to a point where you have to use everything just to get into one thing. And that's just, as a trader, I look to trade a lot and risk a little. So with a little bit of money in there, $2,000, you get that flexibility. And I am speaking to the traders who really want to do this the right way. They see this as a business. They don't see it as, well, I can open up a $50 account and next week it's going to be $500.
And I like the fact you just said that, the people who are trying to do this the right way, because there's so many people who don't. I mean, it frustrates me, but hey, that's a subject for another day. I just thought I'd bring up a chart right now. We look at a lot of charts on the show. Here you've got a chart of the S&P futures right now. But let's go and put in like one of the big ones. Let's say, look, because I'm a Brit, but I float on side. I'm almost a citizen. And, you're American. So let's look at the good old pound versus the dollar, if anybody's never seen. And look, if I go and put in, I'm going to put GBP USD in here, bring up a chart. And look, here we go. Let's just zoom into this price action for the last 4 or 5 years. A chart is a chart is a chart. Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at a chart of the British pound versus the US dollar. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of zoom in and just highlight right here so everybody can see that, and you'll be able to see it here. So it says GBP USD in the thing. This is a weekly chart. So this chart that you're seeing here, is the British pound. Let's just draw on here. Let's just write it GBP. Okay, I've got all the fancy tools on here versus the USD, okay? So what this actually means is if this chart is going up, if you're unfamiliar on here, this is really the way I describe it. This is actually the pound going up in value and at the same time the US dollar going down in value. So what this really is we look at this, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a thing in here, and Alex can add to this too. This first currency is called the base. This currency here is called the quote. And again, this is about as deep as we'll go because this is a beginner's guide, right? But you'll notice there's always got to be two currencies in when you chart it, because you can't chart the pound against itself or the dollar against itself. It has to be against something, okay? So you're always going to see them. We call these currency pairings, right? I think what confused me when I first got into this, Alex, was like, well, if the chart's going up, what's going up and what's going down? I always say, well, look, the price you see on the right-hand side, which is over here, all these numbers you see, and again, we can like zoom in and see these numbers. Right now, the price is about 141. That's how many US dollars there are to the pound. So £1 is basically worth about $1.41 right now. If it was the other way around, USD GBP, the chart would look the other way. So if the market then, or if this chart then starts to go down, what that's telling us is that the dollar is going up and now the pound is going down. I look at it like a chart of the pound, right? Priced in US dollars. If anybody here is an active trader, Alex, looking at these charts right now, can they use the same kind of process and strategy that they might have been using in stocks and other asset classes? Because a chart is a chart, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, as far as the technicals go, that's not going to change. Forex actually makes what traders do in stocks a little bit more explicit. I'm really big into relative strength.
Yes.
And it's normally I talk about it in regards to Forex, but the relative strength is something that you can do in stocks and commodities as well. But what's really neat about the Forex market is it's explicit that this chart moves up and down based on a relationship.
Yep.
It's not just the pound that's making this move. It's not just the dollar that's making this move.
Yep.
It's the relationship between monetary policies, what the central banks want to do.
Sure.
And what's really neat about that is it just kind of makes us realize that even if we've never traded currency or the Forex market, we're always trading in pairs.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, the barrels of oil that we trade in the futures market are not priced in barrels of oil, nor are the shirts that we buy at the grocery store. It's a barrel of oil versus a currency.
Exactly.
Or it's a T-shirt versus a currency.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just really neat. I like the Forex market because I think that view of the pair can really be brought into other markets and really kind of illuminate how or maybe why people are doing this in the stock market. Because that relationship is really going to direct kind of how this chart moves.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And you can get other telltale signs. Right now, I'll just zoom in so everyone can see this. I've got a chart up here, the DXY, which is the dollar index. So that is the dollar overall priced against a basket of other currencies, including the dollar, the pound, the Swiss franc, the Japanese yen, and all those good ones as well. So, you can get a good little kind of feel for that movement overall. And I've got some questions coming in live as we're going here, so I want to address those and give those to you in a second, Alex. But one of the other things, just before we get to your questions from Joe and Letitia, the thing I like about Forex as well is not only can you use other strategies, and there are specific strategies you can use in Forex. I mean, you talked about relative strength. And, that's way beyond like the time scale we've got on here. But that would be something I think works very nicely. There's the carry trade. There's other times of day I get that. But overall, a good system can apply to it. But one of the things I really like for anybody who's never considered this, there's two other things to think about. If you're in the US, there's better tax implications. You get the 60-40 long-term capital gains tax split that you get in future. So anybody looking at the show right now can always message us. You can always reach to us via the pages. But you get a better tax break than you do trading stocks and options. But also another thing is safety, and all about safety first. And to give an example of the safety, let's just go back over there. Let's just look at another one here. I'm going to look at a stock. Now let's look at something a little bit more volatile, shall we? So it doesn't get much more volatile than the likes of, say, Tesla, all right? Let's go and take a look at Tesla on a chart here. Now what you're going to see is if I go to, say, something like, let's go to a 60-minute chart for a second here, Alex. I'm going to do this. Now, you'll see on this chart right now, we're at some major resistance, but you see these price gaps here. So everybody looking at the chart now, there's a price gap here, there's a price gap here, there's a price gap here. If you actually kind of look at this and zoom in a little bit more, you're going to see these price gaps all over the place right here. They can get really hairy, and stop losses don't necessarily work during price gaps. On stocks, you can get slipped really hard, can't you, if you're on the wrong side of that, if you're holding stocks. What I love is this. So let's go back over to that GBP USD chart. And on the front, look what you're not seeing here. Very few price gaps. Let's scroll back and see. Don't see any yet. And if you do, there's one there. Look at that. One in about, and that's going back to, let's say the date on there. That's going all the way back to March 19th, right? A lot safer to hold overnight because it's one continuous market. What's the hours of operation typically, Alex, for a Forex market?
Eastern time, it's Sunday 5 p.m. to Friday 5 p.m. So it's a 24-hour market, 5 days a week.
Eastern time. So let's put it. It opens up at Sunday 5 p.m. Eastern, And it goes all the way through to about Friday, right? On the
Yep, Friday, 5 p.m.
There we go. Friday, 5 p.m. I'm writing as best as I can. It's not SPM. That's like 24 hours a day, almost, 6 days a week. And you haven't got to worry about any gaps until that particular that time between the Friday and the Sunday. That's a lot safer for somebody as well, wouldn't you think? I think you can sleep at night knowing you're in a Forex position, right? During the week.
Right. It's easier to manage. Definitely easier. The stops are going to work a lot better here because it's just regular market movement. You get those gaps.
Oh,
I don't like stocks for swing or any. I'm not a swing trader in the stock market primarily for the reason of gaps, because it's basically risk that we can't define. And as a trader, I do not like markets where I can't define my risk.
Exactly. And it's funny because I got something here. This is the QQQs, Alex, that we just got up on the chart right now. And you're going to get safety in the indexes, and look at the gaps in the QQQs ETF as well. You get those gaps, right? And, people get so excited. They gap up and they chase price and so on. It's just... I love the safety, and I felt truly comfortable when I do trade stocks overnight. I think if you're going long term, that's perfectly fine. Anybody listening, I also like to use options because there's a safety with options of the premium. Okay, so there are safe ways to participate in the stock market. Don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen. But I would say this, for somebody who's new, who's not prepared to take those risks, who wants to sleep better at night, I think Forex is great. To me, I like Forex as a wealth play, Alex, like long-term, weekly, monthly charts. I mean, can you equivalent buy and hold almost in the world of Forex as well if we go on the real long-term charts?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, actually, I think that's the way to go. You go on, what's a good one? Bring up CAD Yen.
All right, let's take a look. That is one. Now, CAD Yen, some of you guys went CAD Yen, Canadian dollar versus Japanese yen. Let's go look at this bad boy, and let's go look at this on a weekly time frame. Here we go. Bring it up on here. I mean, look at the movement on this, I mean, look at this for the last 18 months. Since this thing bottomed out, this thing for 18 months has just been on an absolute tear, hasn't it? I mean, what a great market if you wanted that for, those longer term plays, right?
Yeah, it can be a very trendy market. The kind of motor that's really moving price is very, very deep fundamentals that are initiated by central banks and governments. Central banks don't their monetary policy doesn't last for a week. It doesn't last for a month.
So the trend
monetary policies can last for years.
Right.
I mean, and I brought up the yen specifically because the BOJ, the Bank of Japan, has had the same monetary policy since 2012. So, they are constantly working on the yen, and, you'll just see these really big trends that have formed on the yen because you have that big player that wants something to get done in the market, and they've got the funds to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, and it's that's a beautiful play for a period of time there. And again, you haven't got to worry about those gaps. You haven't got to worry about those risks. Pretty awesome stuff as well. Man, I don't want to go into too much of this because I know you're going to be doing a whole presentation about this next week. So we'll save a little bit in the tank. But let's answer a couple of these live questions that have come in right now, Alex. And then we're going to do your call, my put. Okay, because I'd love to hear your take on those as well. Super useful. I think the message of today is, hey, if you're going to be, bring Forex into your arsenal. It's not going to cost you a lot, right? So it's worth a try, even if you just put a little bit of money in the account. Firstly, a question. Couple of questions, actually. Alex, do you have a platform? Letitia Tooks is just asking on here, do you have a platform you prefer over another for Forex trading? Do you have a specific platform you like, if you had to pick one?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of TradingView.
TradingView.
It hooks into my brokers. TradingView is just a web platform, so they're not a broker. You have to get data feed, and so you can have they hook to TradeStation, they hook to Forex.com, they hook to Awanda and a couple other. I think maybe up to 10 brokers so far. Okay. But it's a really nice platform to use. It's it just has everything that I need. And I think one of the big things for me is the web-based, the cloud.
Right.
You know, when I first started learning how to trade, everything had to be on thumb drives. Thumb drives, so many thumb drives. You know, if you wanted to take your workspace to a friend's house and show them your analysis, it was kind of hard to do.
Right.
You know, you'd have to make sure your programs, even the version of the program had to be the same. So I think for convenience, I like TradingView. I think it's very intuitive. It's a nice setup, and cool. And it's free. I mean, the basic version, you can go to their website, you can have a little account, and even if you don't trade through them, it's just nice to have some easy to get to charts that you save on a cloud and you can access anywhere.
Awesome. Another question for you here is also TradingView, one of the picks there that we've got. I do like using Thinkorswim for my analysis. You know, I just have it there. I mean, I also use TradeStation. I mean, I can use anything here, but for execution side of things, you know, I execute on Oanda. I've executed on FXCM in Europe. You can't really do that here in the US, but I've had no problems with Oanda over here in the US as well. Another one on here. Another question is Alex a fundamental trader or exclusively a technical chart trader? And then asking me that question as well. You first, Alex.
Yeah, I would say not fundamental really. I leave the fundamentals for the hobby side. I mean, I love you know, reading about this stuff. Right. So, you know, I love to get a laugh of the narratives that people make up to explain why price moves. So no, fundamentals are not really a big part of my analysis. I'm more of a technical and a sentiment trader. It's really where my my kind of cornerstone is. I want to know objective targets. I want to know objective setups. And then I also want to know how are the traders actually engaging in these setups in the market environment. So really my analysis is a mixture of the technicals, price action, and the sentiment, what traders are actually doing.
Yeah. I and to answer that question, Alex, Joseph, that you asked Alex and I, as a short-term trader, I'm 100% technical. Fundamentals just don't help me at all. But, you know, I will pay attention to fundamentals on longer term, things like wealth plays. You know, I'll have a certain interest. Like, you know, I do have, you know, fundamentally a belief that the entertainment and travel and leisure business is due for a pop in the long term after everything that's happened. But then from a fundamental perspective that clashes with that, I think this inflation's a killer right now. I believe this market's in a bit of a bubble. I believe a lot of things are in a bubble right now. So, you know, it's a funny one. It's about a balance. Like, I believe that, you know, every fundamental that I can do has to have if this all works according to plan, this is great, but I have to have a cautiousness behind it. So even if I have a good fundamental kind of thesis on stuff, I still need to go to the charts to find out where am I going to get in, where am I going to get out, how am I going to manage this position. So, and I often find the fundamentals will never ever help me, you know. And as a day trader, guys, nada, never.
Oh, right. At that point, you're just playing vibration.
I'm a price guy, and I've tested it. I've tested it. You know, I've got ridiculous, copious amounts of back testing data, you know, on my strategy and my profit taking methodology, which I teach in StockAbility. It's, you know, and I've got systems that are patent pending and, you know, that are built into, you know, systems and they work. So I'm like, I got to just stick with that. You know, in the short term, the market can't factor that stuff in, can it, Alex? It just can't.
Right.
You know?
I like the idea of if you are going to use fundamentals, having a synergy between the two. And if they ever clash, I would always default to the technicals.
That's it. I couldn't agree more. Love the questions, guys. Thank you. Final, where were you trained, Alex? Another question on here. Where were you trained? And, you know, you're allowed to talk about anything on the show. So where were you trained?
Well, I started at a school, Online Trading Academy. That's kind of, I mean, I still remember. So it's a story I've told a lot, but I was in college, you know, the basic courses that you have to take. You know, you got to take the algebra classes and you've got to take Econ 101. And they were just talking about, you know, the evils of speculators. So I got my start at the academy. And what was really nice was just kind of creating my own network of individuals like people such as yourself that I could really kind of try to mirror the aspects that I liked. So you know, as a trader, you never really get your education in one spot. You know, it's not a course that you graduate and then you're done.
Right.
You know, it really is kind of a lifelong journey if you're going to be a trader for your life. You know, and taking those opportunities to really absorb what those who have come before you are doing successfully, and really just molding along the way. So yeah, I got my start at the Online Trading Academy. Awesome. And then from there, just tried to really stay focused on what resonates with me.
Yep.
You know, trying not to get too far off the path of, oh, well, I'm going to do this just because they do it. Or
right, finding your own style, which is what we're all about. You know, here's a framework. Really go develop your own style. And I'll also add on here, because you're a humble man, you know, the guy, Alex, won Instructor of the Year in his specific, you know, categories of Forex trading multiple times. It's a very proud moment for me sitting there and watching you do that as well. So, you know, I've seen some great work from you over the
3 out of the 4 years.
There you go. Excellent. We got last question, I guess, because I really already over here. But also, Sam, Alex, what is the role of crypto in our personal trading? My take on this, if you've been on the show right now, is I'm undecided. I'm involved in it. I have long-term ownership in crypto ETFs purely as a speculation at all. If it's a ship that's going to sail further, I've got my ticket for it. It isn't costing me a whole lot of money. I'm willing to let that ticket go to zero. The money I put into it is fine. I'm not convinced still by it in the long term. There's a lot of uncharted territory with it. But I have a ticket, Alex, and, you know, that's how I play it. Am I a regular trader in it? No. My attitude is there are far too many advantages for steady opportunities with a lot less risk and volatility in the futures, regular fiat currency markets as well, and indexes. That's my play on it. What's yours? And then we'll go to your call, my put.
Yeah, my I would say for trading, you know, it's hard to beat the volatility. If you want volatility, you know, go to crypto.
Yeah.
But I have problems with it for the long term. What I want to see first is an event that we saw similar to like the tech bubble.
Yeah.
You know, I think there are 7,000 to 8,000 cryptocurrencies out there. Most of them unheard of, probably doing nothing or as far as advancing, creating any kind of value.
Yeah.
So, you know, just like what we saw in the tech bubble, you know, the market was just packed with companies that had value because they had .com in the name, or because people decided to buy them.
Just people decided to buy them, but no real long-standing.
Right. So I feel like right now we're still in an environment where, you know, you could create something of no value, and if it has coin in the name, it could be a big thing. So I see the viability for blockchain, and even for the potential that cryptocurrencies can offer, but I haven't gotten into it in any serious way. I'm really looking for it to get cleared out first.
Yeah, I love that.
Let all the garbage get wiped to the side, and then we may be left with companies like Apple, you know, companies like Microsoft. We may have those cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't know. And it's like that's a Cliff Rose just saying via YouTube, we can create our own crypto in an afternoon. Maybe we should do, Alex. You know, stock a coin could be good, right? So
this one guy made it super cool automatic money.
Yeah.
Scam.
I know, right? Super cool.
Coin.
Super cool automatic money. Go put the letters together. You'll see. I am cautious, but I am exposed. Let's put it this way. I'm exposed, but if it goes to zero, it's not going to take food off my table or affect my quality of life. Let's see how it goes. Like I say, I want to see when this market bubble does burst, and there's bubbles in bonds, there's bubbles in real estate, there's bubbles in inflation, there's bubbles in valuation. When this market does get a major correction, not the little blips we keep seeing, but we see more of a 2008, 2000 style event, then we'll see how crypto fares in that. Then we'll see. Then we'll see. And you know what? Maybe Bitcoin will go back down to like $500 because everybody will be piling back to gold. They'll be piling back to bonds and say, hey, I need to put my safety in something established. And then I might buy it up then. We'll see. And if the boat sails without me, I don't care because there's other vehicles that I can turn a profit. That's why I don't stress about it. I let everybody else lose their heads in that respect. Great questions. Great comments. Love this, guys. Man, YouTube and Facebook Live, here we are. This has been awesome just having this all over here. I really like it. We're getting into our stride doing it. I'm having to see questions and multiple monitors. You wouldn't even want to see what my studio looks like right now, but it's all happening. It's all happening. All right. It wouldn't be a Take Stock Live without your call, my put, Alex. As the gentleman I am, what do you got? Are you bullish going with the call or are you bearish going with the put? What do you want to do? I know what I want to do either way.
I'll take the put.
You're going to take the put, so you're bearish. What are you bearish on? It's going to have to be Forex related, isn't it?
Oh yeah. We got it. We got to keep this ball rolling.
All right, let's go to the chart. So what are we going to look at, sir?
So bring up dollar yen.
Dollar yen. All right, what time frames would you like on this one?
Daily and weekly is good. So weekly will be for the big picture.
All right, so we're going to look at these top two charts on here. So let's just go daily and weekly. Let's just change this to a nice daily chart. But let's start up here and let's go full screen and just go over to this for a section and maximize my sell. Bam, here we go. Here's our chart. We are starting on a weekly time frame. Let's zoom in and get a little bit of a picture. Here we go. What are we thinking then? Oh, I do like... Now, I'm going to look at that initially. I'm going to say I see weakness in that. It's not overblown weakness, but it's steady. What are you seeing on that weekly chart, Alex?
Yeah, it seems like we're in a nice bearish channel from the highs of, let's see, October of 2018.
I'm going to definitely see a channel right there. You know, something like that. And I'm using the tools I best can on here, you know.
That's nice.
And they're never pretty, these things, are they? I mean, this is old school technical we're going here, but I mean, it ain't never pretty. Markets do overshoot. To me, I'm looking like, you know, a series of lower lows, lower highs. I mean, you've had a few pops and you get that, but the question to ask ourselves is it drifting lower? It really, really is at this particular stage. And, you know, what do we see? I mean, to me, it looks like a weak range. I don't know if that would be a great way of describing it, like a weak range. But there's definitely a weakness that I'm seeing in this market overall on here.
Yeah, we've cleared support on the daily time frame. So you know, it's just starting to build up. You've rallied. A very nice rally.
Yeah.
Very aggressive
Look at this.
rally.
Yeah.
You know, moving all the way up to the top of that channel. So, you know, we're just in an environment where we got to be objective here. And yeah, we could say, well, it's been going up, so let's keep buying. But, you know, just seeing how price has started to drop from those highs that you've marked and you've taken out the support zone.
Yeah.
Kind of right below your pointer there.
Yeah.
I just feel like the market's really starting to give us some signs that it wants to try to push lower.
And where I've put these arrows, like we put in this high, then we put in this lower low, and then now again we've got like another lower high as well. So we're in a very early stage of like a sentiment shift, I feel. What is unnerving me about this is there's a ton of wide open space below here for this thing to really come lower. And I would expect, and again, call me ambitious, I am. I like to go for it. But if we can develop some real, you know, chops on this, I don't see any reason why we're not going to be retesting these lows. Is that too much? Or is it just a part of the trend, Alex?
I don't think it's too much. I mean, you know, going at it in layers, I see the first kind of area of support around the 107.50, which should be at those lows.
Yep, around
you know,
here.
And then if we can break that, the market should drop to weekly support around 105.
Yep, got it.
And then after 105, I think we would just keep going and attack those lows and just kind of do what the market's been doing for many years.
Well, somebody did comment on here earlier. I need to look at it. Who was it? I've got a lot of great comments coming in, but Brian Dennis saying the trend god Alex. You do love a trend. According to Brian Dennis, who's looking at the show via Facebook Live right now. I got to say, I agree, you know. You know me, people are always trying to call tops and bottoms, but I've been so bullish on the overall stock market because guess what? It's in a really long-term trend. Right? So you buy the pullbacks. There is something to be said for trend. And I would agree with you. Where people, I think, go mistake is if you're just looking at this price action that we've seen from here to here, it looks like we're in an uptrend. But what I love about where you went to in here is if we go back a second to the weekly chart, you can see the bigger picture. And guys, That is a downtrend. I don't care what anyone says. And we've been making those. And I still see a lot of space vacuum down here, the tips of this wick that never got retested. So I tell you, I'm going to make a call. I'm going to say 102 is on the table for this. Not now, not tomorrow, maybe not next week, maybe not next month. But this year, I wouldn't be surprised to see 102 on this bad boy. That's just me.
Yeah.
I'd agree with you on that one. Thank you for sharing, sir. So you heard it on here, dollar yen. We're looking, and I think that right now we could start be sniffing for some nice short plays on that. You know, with some tight stops as well. I like that.
Watch the equity market. The equities basing. You know, when we first started the show, a lot of those equity markets were at resistance.
They were. Well, I did say I wouldn't want to buy it now. Let's go take a look. I remember saying this S&P. I don't want to buy it right now. I don't like where it is. Let's go see where we are at the moment.
If the equity markets aren't moving up, people are nervous.
There you go.
And when people are nervous, the yen will really overtake in strength.
There's a real sign there. We had another gap up today, and look, just filled and just drifted low. A lot of unfilled gaps. I think in the short term that could help, and that will help see that correlation with the dollar yen going to the downside as well. You know, people run back over to that safe haven on there as well. And again, I look at these charts on here, and I see a lot of indecision in these markets right now. You know, you just got to play your cards very, very close to your chest on this. Interesting.
Well, this is the moment that people are going, oh man, you know, it's been going up and I got out at the low, so maybe now it's time to get in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the sentiment. When the sentiment turns very bullish, that's when the market will start to move lower. And I think I just see it on CNBC. You know, they want to pump this thing as much as they can.
They really do, right?
You know, they'll highlight any green percentage.
They will indeed. It's good for business, right? Yeah. I guess I get the bullish play. I've not done this one before, but copper. You know, copper undeniably has been in a pretty decent upward trend for quite some, and it's healthy. Now, it needs a pullback, and I'm certainly not saying right now, but there is a major kind of, I would call it old resistance, could be support area around this $4.30 mark. I like it in a couple of days, but on the daily chart, to me, the trend still looks pretty good and looks pretty strong. I don't think you get the clearest appreciation for this until we go out to the weekly, and I want to look at it here. And again, like right now, we've managed to take out these previous week highs right across here. We've taken it out. That's fine. I am not interested in it right now, but I'm going to look at two areas here, Alex. I'm going to look at two areas. I'm going to zone in on this price action a little bit more here. Let's just zoom right in. I just want to pull back. The weekly chart looks good. I got to say, if I'm going to be aggressive on this, I reckon 4.2 if I want to be conservative. As long as we hold $4, I'm going to look for this market to come down, maybe get a bounce here, if not down here, and then a continuation higher. I think copper is still a steal at $4 right now. And if the economy is going to go, and I still think it's a steal at that price. Would love your thoughts on that. Feel free to disagree.
It's hard to disagree. I mean, we're coming off of all-time highs.
Yep.
So just under $5, the market has never been there before. I think it was 460 was the all-time high, somewhere around there. So we reached the highs. Normally, that's when you're going to start seeing some of the profit taking. And every time we breach a high, we'll normally get a little bit of profit taking. So I love it. I think a nice pullback is what's needed. If this were to have just kind of kept going, it would have made me a little nervous.
You need a pullback. People don't realize that. Nice people don't realize that you need a decent pullback for a trend to continue. That's part and parcel of it. You need a pullback for the trend to continue. So I'm glad you agree on it. Copper's definitely my thing on there as well. Love it. Love that. Really
I'm a very big commodity bull.
Yes, you are. And
I've been talking about that for a while.
Well, I'd love you back on the show. Now you are officially part of StockAbility as one of our coaches. I'd love you on here regularly. We can have a nice commodity special in the next couple of weeks. Would you be up for that, sir?
I would love it. This has been fantastic.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people are itching for more Alex Perna in their diet, which is a great thing. So why don't we see about how we can do that? Let's go on over here because we are getting towards the top of the hour. Well, we're past the top of the hour, but we're getting ready to have to wrap this thing up. Let's go on over and talk about this. You're doing a webinar on this coming Tuesday all about the benefits of Forex in both income and wealth. Your very first webinar for us as well. What can people expect to come down to that one, Alex?
Really starting at the beginning.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure I don't leave anyone behind.
Okay,
we're going to talk more about the pairs and the structure. We're going to talk about the price axis, make sure we really understand it. But I'd like to build it up at least at the last little portion of it. Try to bring it into relative strength.
Correct.
Talk about how it's just really can save a lot of time and effort. Knowing where the trends are as a trend trader. If I could just get a list of currency pairs that are more likely to be trending than not, then that's just where I'm going to go. Absolutely. And if I can get that done in 5 minutes rather than spending a couple hours going through each pair, I'd much rather do that. So, we're going to start at the beginning.
Beautiful.
I don't want to run too fast.
Sounds good.
But definitely try to work our way towards this idea of relative strength.
Wonderful. Well, here we go. Complimentary webinar, Focus on Forex, is going to be this coming Tuesday, May 25th, 5 p.m. Eastern. Go ahead and register for it. We're really looking forward to that, seeing as we're giving a lot more love to Forex in the halls of StockAbility, and also going to have you in the next week or two doing your very first live GTS for our current students as well. I know everyone's excited about that. I got it all worked out. A Forex Focus is going to be a regular thing in our guided trade sessions that you can join at any time if you want to be a part of the StockAbility family as well. Super excited about that. Go to StockAbility.com, guys, and there it is, complimentary. Click on the register button and come see Alex and the gang this coming Tuesday. I'm looking forward to it. I know you're looking forward to it as well. What one final question for you, my friend. What is now you joined the team as well, what are you hoping to achieve with StockAbility?
Looking to achieve at StockAbility
that you haven't already achieved, because you've got a great track record in teaching. I tell you that right now. He's thinking
really what I'm looking to achieve would probably be just a more straightforward approach to Forex.
Yeah.
Something that doesn't involve, 10, 20 steps. So I guess what I'm looking to achieve is what StockAbility has been doing. And I think that's why, within me, I just felt a desire to be a part of this that I just couldn't ignore. I like the approach that you guys take as far as keeping it simple, keeping it clean.
Yep.
So I really just want to try to expand that. I want to bring that into the Forex markets. I want to, bring that into the commodities, but also just kind of just being a part of a network of individuals who are authentic, I think is a really big thing for me, because I'm still learning. I've always seen myself as a student of the market, and as soon as we think we've graduated, that market is going to hammer us. So,
you get humbled real quick, don't you?
Right. So part of it is expanding the ethos of StockAbility, but also a selfish part of it is expanding my own development, my own ability to reframe in different aspects so that I can be a better trader.
Well, we couldn't be more happy to have you. I'm so excited. Our journey began together many years ago, and we're on the next stage of that now as well. So, guys, and a lot of students. Sam. A lot of students saying, hey, the current students who are watching now, Alex is going to be doing specials with you guys. Don't worry as well. We got a lot in store for you all, guys. So it's been great. Can I just say thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to join us on the show. Going to have you back in a couple of weeks. We're going to talk commodities and have some fun with that. It's been a blast, man. Really, really happy, really excited about it all. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for joining us today, Sam. Alex. Appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you
so
everyone.
much. Absolutely. Anytime. Guys, that was Alexander Perna, new coach at StockAbility. Super excited to just have him, joining the company and all the good things he's got to offer as well. You can see the guy's just got this Zen-like guru-ness about him. And I absolutely love it. And I can't wait for the students to start enjoying that as well. Like I said to you before, if you're interested in getting a bigger taste of Alex and me getting out the way and letting him do his thing, head on over to StockAbility.com. Go sign up and enroll on our complimentary webinar this coming Tuesday, May 25th, 5 p.m. Eastern, where you can get a whole hour with him talking about what he loves to do in the Forex market. And I know you're real trading 24/7, saying can't wait to learn from him. I know he can't wait to teach either as well. Go to StockAbility.com, reach out to us. We are more than happy to help you in any way we can as well. Wow, what a show. I think I'm going to have to start saying this is not a 1 hour show, it's an hour and a half show. But that's all good. I've had a blast. This has been our inaugural Take Stock Live broadcast simultaneously on Facebook Live's StockAbility channel and also YouTube StockAbility channel. It's a simulcast, got people looking from both areas. I love it. This is the way it's going to be. Although it's not going to be Friday next week, it's going to be back to our regular airing time every Thursday at noon Eastern. Every Thursday at noon Eastern, Take Stock Live is on the Facebook Live page and simultaneously broadcast on YouTube StockAbility channel as well. And if you're looking at the recording of this show, you can see it on Facebook Live or you can see it on the StockAbility channel as well. Go check out the StockAbility channel too. There's a ton of other content on there. There's from Dan Bustamante, my co-founder, Ryan Watkins, Alex will be up there soon. I was posting videos as well. Got actually still links available to a webinar I did earlier this week on Wednesday, which was my 5 top tips for trading a small account. Go to the YouTube channel, you see that, and you can still actually look at the recording of that if you want to get some tips on how to begin with a small account in the world of Forex, futures and options. Man, we've got tons of content. We've got it coming out of everywhere. Man, and this is just the beginning as well. It's been an absolute blast. Can I say, everybody looking at the show, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to join us here on this show. We will be back, not Friday, but Thursday of next week. Wow! Commemorate, rejoice. You haven't got to wait a whole week. You've only got to wait 6 days until we're back. We will see you next Thursday on YouTube and Facebook Live for Take Stock Live. Have a great rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. Man, it's been an absolute blast. I'm Sam Evans. I'm out of here. Take care. Bye-bye.